Welcome, my dear students, once again. As you know, we are in Unit 1, Lesson 3. Exercise D. Complete the sentences with the past simple, or the present perfect simple of the verbs in brackets. الأفعال اللي بين الأقواس. We are going to make these verbs either past simple or present perfect simple. Yes. Write PS, past simple, or PPS, present perfect simple, after each sentence. بعد كل جملة. As you know, students, the difference between the present perfect simple and the past simple is like this. The present perfect simple, which is have or has plus past participle, is used to express an action that started and ended in the past, but it has a result now. المضارع التام البسيط حدث بدأ وانتهى بالماضي لكن نتائجه موجودة حاليا. While the past simple talks about an action that started and ended in the past and has no results now. For example, when I say I have spilt the water on the ground, which is a present perfect. I have spilled the water on the ground. What does that mean? It means that the ground is wet now. الأرض مبللة الآن. النتائج موجودة. But when I say I spilled the water, which is past simple, what does that mean? It means that the ground is no longer wet. It is dry now. So, both the past simple and the present perfect simple talk about an action that started and ended in the past. In the present perfect simple, we can see or feel the results. But in the past simple, there are no results. Now, it is a finished action. بالماضي البسيط الفعل انتهى بالماضي ونتائجه ما موجودة. بالمضارع التام البسيط الفعل انتهى بالماضي لكن نتائج شبيهة موجودة لحد الآن. So, students, let's try to do this exercise. And we are going to use the verbs between brackets. For example, number 1, our verb is make. Come to my house for a coffee. A delicious cake. I have made a delicious cake. This is a present perfect simple. It means that we have a cake and I am inviting you to come in order to have this cake. Dash it last night. Last night is an adverb of time that is used with the present simple. ظرف زمان خاص it is used with the past simple. ظرف زمان خاص بالماضي البسيط. So our question سؤال هذا must be in the past simple. Did you make it last night? This is past simple. Number 2, our verb is write. You to Hassan yet. We have this word yet. And yet usually comes with the present perfect simple. So this question must be in the present perfect simple. Have you written to Hassan yet? Have you written to Hassan yet? It is a question in the present perfect simple. Yes, I dashed to him last week. As I have said, last week is an adverb of time that is used with the past simple. So I wrote to him last week. Number 3, our verbs have. Would you like some chicken and rice? Would you like some chicken and rice? No thanks. I have had my supper. This is a present perfect simple. It means that I have had my supper. It means I am not hungry. So I have had my supper. Really? What time did you have it? This is past simple. Number 4, our verb is eat. There is no cheese in the fridge. There is no cheese in the fridge. Somebody has eaten it all. This is present perfect simple. I use the present perfect simple because we don't have cheese in the fridge now. The action started and ended in the past, but the results are still found, which is there is no cheese in the fridge right now. Somebody has eaten it all. Sorry, that was me. I ate it for breakfast. أنا تناولته للفطور. This is past simple. Pay attention to me, dear students. We are in Unit 1, Lesson 4, Exercise C. Complete the sentences with the present perfect simple using been or gone. The present perfect simple, which is of been and gone, which is have or has been, have or has gone, have or has never or not been. What is the difference between these expressions? The first one, have or has been. What does that mean? It means that a person has made a visit and has now returned. بنستخدم have أو has been معناها الشخص ذهب إلى مكان ورجع إلى مكانه الأصلي. بينما have or has gone, what does that mean? It means the person has gone away and hasn't returned. ذهب إلى مكان ولم يرجع. While when I say have or has never or not been, what does that mean? It means the person has never made a visit to that place. معناها الشخص أصلا لم يذهب إلى ذلك المكان. إذا راح ورجع نقول have or has been. إذا راح وما رجع نقول have أو has gone. إذا أصلا ما رايح نقول have or has never been. Exercise C. Number 1. They to Dubai. They'll be back in Iraq in 5 days. Now they are in Dubai. So what do I say? I say they have gone. They have gone. What's Casablanca like? I don't know. ما أعرفها. I haven't been there. It means that I has never made a visit to this place. So haven't been or have never been. The Al-Badri family isn't here at the moment. The Al-Badri family isn't here at the moment. هم ليسوا هنا الآن. They have gone on holiday. It means that Al-Badri family is not here at the moment. They have gone on holiday. Have or has gone means ذهب الشخص إلى مكان ولم يرجع بعد. Is Adam here? هل آدم هنا? Or has he gone? Has he gone to the football practice? I want to go to Scotland. I have been there twice. It's a nice place. It means that this person has been to Scotland and returned. He has visited Scotland twice, مرتين, and it is a nice place. I'll show you around Baghdad. Have you been to the museum? I'll show you around Baghdad. Have you been to the museum? Pay attention to me, dear students. We are still in Unit 1, Lesson 5. It is about question tags or tail questions, which means in Arabic الأسئلة الذيلية. It is called tail questions or question tags or الأسئلة الذيلية because they are questions that comes at the end of the sentence. هي أسئلة تأتي نهاية الجملة فيسمونها question tags or tail question لأنها تأتي وين؟ تأتي في نهاية الجملة. How can we form question tags? We have two rules. Please students write these notes in your notebooks. اكتب هاي الملاحظات في دفتر مالك. If the statement is affirmative, if we have an affirmative statement, إذا عندنا جملة مثبتة like ليلى is 16. How can we make the question tag? We put the auxiliary verb and we add not. If the statement is affirmative, we add not to the auxiliary verb. Then we put the subject pronoun, then we end with a question mark. إذا الجملة مثبتة خلي الفعل المساعد منفي بعدين ضمير الفاعل. If we have a negative statement, إذا الجملة مالتنا منفية, we put the auxiliary verb but without adding not. Then we put the subject pronoun, then we end the question tag with a question mark. إذا جملة مثبتة الفعل المساعد منفي وإذا جملة منفية الفعل المساعد إيش بيه؟ مثبت. This is question tag. This is question tag. Let's examine these two examples. Layla is 16. Layla is 16 is an affirmative statement. How can we make question tag? We put the auxiliary verb which is. The statement is affirmative, so the auxiliary must be negative, isn't? Then we put the subject pronoun which is she. Layla is 16, isn't she? He didn't come to school yesterday. How can we make? شو نقدر نسوي a question tag سؤال ذيلي. Here we have a negative statement جملة منفية. So we put the auxiliary verb نضع الفعل المساعد which is did without adding not. الجملة منفية الفعل المساعد مثبت. الجملة مثبتة الفعل المساعد إيش بيه؟ منفي. He didn't come to school yesterday. Did, this is the auxiliary verb. Then subject pronoun which is he. Did he? Then we end with a question mark. Students, question tags are used to check information. تستخدم للتحقق من المعلومات. Now students, let's do exercise B in lesson 5. The students, pay attention to me. We are in lesson 5, exercise B. Complete the questions with the correct tags. This exercise about question tags. الأسئلة الذيلية. She lives in Basra. Here the sentence, the statement is affirmative. So the question tag must be negative. She lives in Basra. As you see, we don't have a helping verb. ما عندنا فعل مساعد. If there is no helping verb, إذا ماكو فعل مساعد, we use do or does in the present simple. نستخدم do does بزمن المضارع البسيط. And we use did in the past simple. إذا ماكو فعل مساعد استخدم do أو does أو did. She lives in Basra. We don't have an auxiliary verb. Lives is a present simple. So we use either do or does. Here we use does. Does. The affirmative, the statement is affirmative. The statement is affirmative. So we add not to the helping verb. Doesn't she? She lives in Basra. Doesn't she? He has a flat in Beirut. Here we have an affirmative statement. So the tag question must be negative. We don't have a helping verb. ما عندنا فعل مساعد. Since the verb is a present simple, we use either do or does. We say doesn't he? The statement is affirmative, so the question tag is negative. You like Lebanese food. You like Lebanese food. Here we don't have an auxiliary verb. Like is a present simple, so we use either do or does. نستخدم إما do أو does. هنا راح نستخدم شنو؟ do. The statement is affirmative, so the question tag must be negative. Don't you haven't met Jamil. You haven't met Jamil. Here we have an auxiliary verb. This is an auxiliary verb and this is the main verb. So if we have an auxiliary verb, we can use it. Have. Here the statement is negative. The question tag must be affirmative. Have you? They didn't expect to see us. Did they? We ain't making too much noise. Are we? Are you? This is question tags. If the statement is affirmative, the question tag should be negative. If the statement is negative, the question tag must be affirmative. If we have an auxiliary verb, إذا عندنا فعل مساعد, we should use this auxiliary verb. If we don't have an auxiliary verb, إذا ما عندنا فعل مساعد, we can use do, does in the present simple and did in the past simple. Pay attention to me, dear students. We are in lesson 6, exercise A. Read and complete the question tags. It is a dialogue between Orana and Liz. Orana, you're Lisbeth, ain't you? Here we have an affirmative statement, so the question tag must be negative. We use the same auxiliary verb with not plus the subject pronoun. نضع الفعل المساعد منفي ثم ضمير الفاعل. You're Lisbeth, ain't you? That's right. I'm Rana Sami. We met in Beirut last year. Didn't we? Here we have a sentence in the past simple. We don't have an auxiliary verb. ما عندنا فعل مساعد. لذلك نستخدم did لأنه met is in the past simple. The statement is affirmative, so the question tag should be negative. We met in Beirut last year. Didn't we? In Beirut? Yes, you were studying there. Weren't you? That's right. You still don't remember me. Do you? Here we have a negative statement. So if the statement is negative, the question tag should be affirmative. We have an auxiliary verb, which is do. Then we have the subject pronoun, which is you. Do you? No, I don't. I'm afraid. No, I don't. I'm afraid. I've got a really bad memory. Let me repeat this for you. Rana, you still don't remember me. Do you? Here we have a negative statement. A negative statement. If the statement is negative, so the question tag should be affirmative. Here we have an auxiliary verb which is do plus the subject pronoun. You still don't remember me. Do you? No, I don't. I'm afraid. I got a really bad memory. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Wait a minute. I remember you, but you were wearing glasses. You were wearing glasses in Beirut. Were you? Here we have a negative statement. جملة منفية. You weren't wearing glasses in Beirut. This statement is negative. If the statement is negative, our question tag should be affirmative. So we use the same auxiliary verb, نستخدم نفس الفعل المساعد بس نبقيه مثبت, then we put the subject pronoun, then a question mark. Wait a minute, I remember you now, but you weren't wearing glasses in Beirut, were you? Rana, you're right, I wasn't. This is all about our lesson this period. Wait for me in our next lecture. Thank you for being so attentive. Goodbye.